Well, that was a pretty good entrance, huh? Who's ever seen that before? No, nobody's seen that before. That was fantastic. All right, well, everybody, thank you for joining us today at the Winding River Ranch in glorious Grand Lake, Colorado, as we watch as Evan and Becca pledge to love each other to death. No, love each other until death, I think is the line, actually, is what you're supposed to say there. So they're honored that all of you could join us here today and join them for this amazing showing of their commitment and their love for each other. They would also particularly like to thank their parents for their unconditional love and support and guidance throughout all of their lives. There's the thing, yes. And we would also like to take a moment to acknowledge those who unfortunately could not be here with us today. Evan's grandma Jane, Aunt Joyce, Uncle Carl, dear friend Tyson, and Becca's grandma Pat, Grandpa Rudy, and Papa, who have unfortunately passed away, and Evan's grandpa Wilbur and Uncle John, who are here with us in spirit. They unfortunately couldn't make the trip up. We think of all of them now, we love them, and we definitely miss their presence here today. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Evan and Becca actually have a very unique story that has led them here to this point today. Evan actually gained his first Ellerbrook brother back in 2004 when he and Becca's brother Charlie pledged the same social group at their college in Iowa. It's a frat. It's a frat. Yes, it's a frat. They had many a time together, a grand time that we probably can't really speak for a few years. Oh, the mic. 7 years. 7 years later. Is it?
Need a higher lapel.
I can project. I do need a higher lapel. Hold on. Okay. Fast forward a quick 7 years later, and we arrive at 2011 when Becca moved in with her brother Charlie's eccentric and weird friend Evan and his cat, and they became strictly platonic roommates. Coincidentally, also in 2011, Becca and Evan managed to become not so platonic roommates, and Becca quickly moved out. When she moved out, upon moving out, Evan asked her to go steady, I believe was his terminology, that very same day. Then, several months later, Evan and Becca finally went on their first date. Yes, yes. And on their first date, as you do on a first date, Evan told Becca that he was in love with her. And I think I speak for everybody when I say, what a nerd. So what started out as a bit of a Benjamin Button type of relationship, moving, kind of getting a little bit, going the wrong direction, it finally leveled out, moved forward, and nearly 6 years later, they stand before us, the well-seasoned couple that we see today. So they've been through a lot. They've made sacrifices, they've laughed, they've cried, they've built roots down in Flagstaff. They adopted Bruce down in Flagstaff, started a business, and continue to prove every single day that their love and partnership are built to last. So really, Becca, Evan, your marriage does not mark the beginning of something, but rather it's about affirming this choice that you make to stand together every day as partners, and also to eat, drink, and dance like maniacs with some of your favorite people in the world. So I need everybody out there dancing tonight now. It's just crazy. We're gonna be crazy. All right, and you both know this firsthand better than I do, but nevertheless, here's some unsolicited love advice for you. Love is really about listening. It is about supporting each other, and it's about enjoying the absurdity of life together. Love is not an excuse to stop growing. It is not an excuse to stop becoming better humans, better partners, and it's not an excuse to ever take each other for granted. Love is being honest. It's having the capacity to forgive and to forget. It's finding dreams and goals that you both share, and it's sharing life's responsibilities, victories, and defeats equally. Love is learning when it's time to speak and when it's time to just shut up, Evan. It's just all of it's just ridiculous. Love is trusting that as your lives grow and change, that you will keep moving forward together. And love is not just being lucky that you found the right partner and the person of your dreams, but it's also being the right partner and being the person of their dreams. So, there you go. There's your unsolicited love advice. And now, Becca's friend Rachel will come on up and read a thing.
Is it dead? My dad's house?
Oh, I don't know what.
Oh yeah. No, that's good.
Typical Becca.
Classic. Hold on.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel. I've known Becca since we were 16-year-old campers at Chile, Colorado camps in Estes Park, Colorado, right over those mountains over there somewhere in the general direction. I tell you all this today because our time spent at that incredibly special place, a few summers as campers and then 4 consecutive summers working there together, shaped us into the women we grew up to be. And in turn, this beautiful partnership you see standing before you today. Because during each of those glorious summers, we had an exceptional opportunity to aspire to be our best selves. Each summer, shortly after we arrived at this special place, the counselors would assemble all 60 campers together to create a code of living. This code of living was to serve as a pillar of the community for the summer as we lived together, created together, and loved together. This activity has been done for every group of campers and staff every summer for 96 years. As a group, we choose traits that we want to embody in ourselves and as a community. These words we select make up our very own code of living each summer. It's different every time, and it's a true reflection of the community that built it. Creating the code encourages you to really think about your ideals, your values, and your drives. What makes you human? What makes you love? It makes you look at those ineffable ideas that connect us all to our most exceptional selves. Those essentials that keep bringing us back to one another. Oh my goodness, it's windy. A code of living is not meant to be bound to the confines. Thank you, Evan. To the confines of summer camp. It is a living document that you take with you out into the world. You can make a code of living for a work team, for a classroom, for a vacation with your best friends, for partners deeply in love, committing their lives to one another. Not only to one another, but also to the communities that they belong to. Becca and Evan asked me to come up here today because they would like us all to create a code of living as they embark on this lifelong partnership. As they commit their love to one another, they want to ask their loved ones and their friends to join them on their journey. Because as Marshall McLuhan said, there are no passengers on Spaceship Earth. We are all crew. Love is much more than that which is shared between 2 individuals. It is in the power of their love that in turn radiates out to their community. Becca and Evan don't see you all as an audience. As they merge their families and their communities, they want us all to remember to live up to the ideals and values that we here today represent. This code will not be vows or advice for a marriage. This shared code of living is a contract we are all making as a merged village. So, friends, strangers, and new friends, what I'm about to ask is a bit unorthodox, but I assure you that it has been approved of by the happy couple. I'm going to ask you all to throw out a few words, characteristics, ideals, qualities that you would like us all to live by as we support this union and merge these villages. We're going to be brainstorming, so there's no wrong answers. We're going to try to get about 8 words, and then we'll see what we get, and then we'll whittle it down from there. So once it's finished, I think it's going to be put into the reception area. Some of you have already started signing it, but you can all sign and add to it. So hold on one moment. Can Evan hold that for me? So start thinking of some words. I'll write them down. Just holler.
Gratitude.
Oh, okay.
I heard gratitude.
Okay, gratitude.
Love.
Love, empathy.
Self-supported.
Respect.
Communication.
Adventure. Oh God, you guys are going too fast. Okay.
Communication.
Communication.
Honesty.
Forgiveness.
Optimism. Optimism.
Sounds like I'm right. Honestly, Joe, that's
Patience.
sorry.
Kindness.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback off of honesty and say compassionate honesty. One up. Okay, wait, let me just read back what we have and then you can add. Okay.
So far I have gratitude, love, empathy, respect, adventure, communication, forgiveness, optimism, caring, patience, kindness, strength, compassionate, honesty.
Anything else anyone wants to add?
Creativity.
Anything else?
Humor!
Anything else? Trust? Oh! How about trust/lust? Okay, anything else? All right, okay, we gotta start whittling it down now. So let me read back what I have, and we're gonna have to like combine some words that are similar. Okay. Okay, I'll read back what we have, and then I will whittle it down. Okay. You can go to the brain trust over there.
We got a brain trust. We're gonna workshop it. All right. So far, I have gratitude, love, empathy, respect, adventure, communication, forgiveness, optimism, caring, patience, kindness, strength, compassionate, honesty, creativity, humor, trust/lust, and courage. So everyone remember, this is not just for these two. This is all of us. We are all embodying these values as we support this union. And Becca and Evan, we will create this code of living for you, and all of you, thank you for sharing in this with us.
All right, and now Becca's father, Dr. Chris Ellerbrook, will come up and read a poem. That he wrote?
Well, it makes perfect sense that I'm a physician standing here in a Colorado plain reading a poem about quantum mechanics. But by way of explanation, I was at the writer's workshop a few years ago, and my professor assigned me a task of writing a poem over lunch about an article from something that I had never been involved in. And I quoted an article by a quantum physicist who basically said, the energies involved in this universe are so impossible that our existence is impossible. The poem also requires the use of, or some understanding of the game craps. And if you don't understand craps, the poem might not mean anything to you. If you don't have an understanding of craps, I did bring some dice, and if you want to see me after dinner, I got to pay for this somehow. The poem is entitled 1 in a Million. We rolled sevens on the come out, implausibly alive, balanced on a knife edge unimaginably narrow. Our hydrogen doesn't coalesce into helium or fly apart and end. Our space a perfect, impossible balance of dark and electromagnetic forces. Impossible by chance, unless we are the one of a billion universes. The one that rolled sevens on the come out. Maybe there's another universe where nations don't explode in violence in refugee camps, where families and communities don't dissolve in hatred. Or maybe we just rolled sevens again and don't yet know it. Or else maybe the dice are loaded. I didn't fuck it up.
That was my cue. Okay. Back. All right. Well, now Becca and Evan will say their vows. They will decide vowing order with the ancient ritual and wedding tradition of Rochambeau. All right.
Best 2 out of 3?
Best 2 out of 3. On shoot. Ready? Go. On shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I make the rules. You put me up here.
We are 1, 2, 3, shoot. Fam.
This is ridiculous. I'm leaving.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1,
Becca
2,
wins.
3, shoot. 1, 2, shoot. Oh.
We got a tie. Epic comeback. And Becca wins. All right, Becca, you get to choose. Do you want to go first or second?
Yeah, I'll get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way. Excellent. Well, here's your mic. All right. Balance out the microphones so the feedback.
I think we just go into your lapel, right? Well, anyway.
Evan.
Here. You go.
I think it's fine.
Nice and close.
Okay. Luth! I can call you Luth again because I had to make a concerted effort to start calling him Evan because I didn't think he'd like me if I was just like, oh, Luthy, one of the guys, you know. But yeah, anyhow.
In the first few weeks of our relationship, sitting in the Park Tavern, you told me something that has really stuck with me. You said that you didn't think that this relationship was going anywhere. I know, right? I know. That's what I said. Yeah. But let me give you some context. Our friends, or at that time, his friends, Ross and Sarah, had invited us to go to Nashville for Ross's birthday, like 2 months away. And we'd been dating for like a couple weeks. And it's pretty risky / unconventional to plan a double date vacation for months away when you just started dating. But Evan said, you know what? I'm not worried about it. This is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of botched the delivery, but... And there was so much certainty in that statement when you said that despite all the commitment fears I've always had, somehow it didn't scare me because with you, I just knew. It no longer felt like to be like fully, truly, deeply known was to be frozen in time as a snapshot of somebody I once was. And it didn't feel like, being with you felt like a bigger adventure than any that I had ever dreamed up on my very own. And I somehow felt like I could feel more free with you than without you, and that I could make you feel free too. So I was kind of not scared. I mean, a little scared now, but So I just want to say I couldn't have picked a better person to build a life with. Yeah. Yeah. You're the best of all worlds. You're flexible and easygoing, while still like stubbornly principled. You're salt of the earth, but also a connoisseur of the finer things. You're independent but attentive, brilliant but never condescending. You're an incredible listener and an even better speaker. You're kind, gentle, strong, and you make me laugh every day. In our nearly 6 years together, we've experienced a lot of bumps and peaks and valleys and mountains and molehills. And what I love about you most isn't how you are during the good times, but it's how you are during the really dark times. You're brave, and you're loving and calm and supportive and funny. And you're always down for a relationship building Tuesday any day of the week. So here are my vows to you. I promise to put you first, at least half the time. And I promise to never let you drop from the top 5. I promise to love all the different people you'll be over the years, from Coach Evan to tuck shirt dad to crusty old hippie Evan. I promise to go on first dates with each new Evan you'll be over the years. And every time, I won't be able to remember the last time I had so much fun with someone. I promise to build our family with you and to be a dedicated, flexible, communicative, fun co-parent. I promise to never stop roughhousing. I promise that your belly will always be pink and your nurples will always be purple. I promise to teach you, to learn from you, to learn with you. I promise to even learn the things I don't want to learn, like how to deal with plumbing emergencies or Magic the Gathering. And most of all, I promise to treat these vows like a living document, constantly updating these promises, making new promises, and reaffirming our love and commitment and partnership. So, Evan, Alvin, Mario, Garson, Hercules, Flamenco, Cook Luthi, Ellerbluth. I gleefully take you as my partner in all things. I love you. This isn't going anywhere. God bless and go Broncos. Yeah.
I didn't realize that was going to be like the biggest Rochambeau of my life. I have to follow that. Ditto. No, I do have a lot of the same stuff and some different stuff, but So it happens when you're with each other for so long and love each other so much. I really didn't know how to go about synthesizing nearly 6 years of growth and love and wacky anecdotes, and with vows and promises and dreams of our shared future. I guess first I vow to not be overly windy with these vows, so I'll keep them to a minimum. I vow to help you pursue your passions and build the Root House into a sustainable source of joy through work. I vow to do my best to keep an even keel. I will try to have enough agreeable Luthi nature to balance out my fiery, stubborn cook nature and my wild card flamenco nature. I vow to never stop making you laugh, whether intentionally or not. I usually don't mean to. And I vow to foster the right amount of wanderlust and continue our global travels together.
Illusions and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. 'Cause someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, yes. The lovers, the dreamers, and believe we're gonna open it up now. Get the rest of the slides back up here. Everybody's gonna start dancing.
Almost on fire and hit that Colorado's name. If you wanna save your soul from hell riding on the rain, then cowboy change your ways to deal with us you will ride. Trying to catch that devil's head across the sky. Oh, that was some line dancing. Well done. First thing I remember was a lonesome whistle blowing, and I was dreaming of going up to life. On the freight train to town, not knowing where I'm bound. Oh, I changed my mind. One and only little child from a family means life. My mama seemed to know what means. I lost my Sunday lunch, but the way I kept on praying, to know in my word. And there's 21 years and we're on the strike. Mama tried to raise me better, but we night. That means only me right with my child.
Rebecca, I do have to admit that Renee and I are sad because we could not find your Bermuda-colored coaching shorts and T-shirt. If we had, we know you'd still be wearing them. So, But today is also a day that we gain a man that we've really, really grown to love. You know, there has been nothing said about Evan that I could add to except for the fact that you had your mother-in-law 2 years ago. Rebecca broke her foot badly, and she sent a text picture to Renee showing Evan painting her toenails. So, those of you who heard some of you heard that Evan was at Cornell with my children. You might not have heard that Kevin was, Evan. So, you might not have heard that Evan was an offensive tackle. Just a couple of years before he was there, I was a quarterback at the same institution. And I do have to say that had you been my offensive tackle, I'm not sure my praise would be quite so lofty as it is today. That said, the last 2 nights have been fantastic. I hope tonight's just as much fun. I know it will be because of you people. And we do ask, we're at altitude, alcohol moves quickly. Please be careful. Beyond that, thank you and enjoy yourselves.
Shots fired at Evan's ability as a football player. He was pretty good in high school from what I remember, but I was like 4, so it's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to now welcome Andy Martin to the stage. Andy Martin, ladies and gentlemen, the best man.
Hey, let's give a hand to Jimmy Luthi. He's done a great job today, everybody. Right before he went up there, I told him, don't choke, and he didn't. So, and there's a reason he's my favorite Luthi. I went ahead and cut my speech down a little bit, too, just because there's not much I can say that you guys haven't already said about yourselves today. So, but I've been writing this bit for the last couple months in my head, so I'm just going to dive right into it and go for it. So, all right. Hello, my name is Randy Scott, and for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to be your host as we celebrate and commemorate the journey that Evan and Becca have come on to get to this point. I'd like to welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to the first annual Bluethies. Yeah, beer nut. Tonight's first Bluthie Award is the Bluthie for the best first impression. I've got to turn the card over to see who wins this one. The Bluthie for the best first impression goes to Evan Luthi. I met Evan when he was just a wee 18 years old, and I was a senior on the football team, and thought it was my duty to invite all the guys from Colorado to come on over for a keg party at my parents' house. And of the 22 people we invited to share that keg, 3 guys showed up, and Evan really just nailed it. I discovered that day his affinity for porcelain bathroom fixtures, and I knew from that point on I was going to really like that guy. So, the next Bluthie Award goes to the best person to watch an episode of South Park with. As you guys all heard, Becca was squatting with Evan and Matt and Jordy at the Crit Crew's house, and they discovered their amorous passions for each other one night over an episode of South Park. And that being said, I'm not going to go any further, but the best person to watch an episode of South Park with is, it's a tie. It's Matt and Jordy, because who doesn't want to meet their true love? My mom's going to pay for your Netflix subscription if you guys will let me come over and watch with you guys. So. Keep going here. The next Bluthie Award is for the best head of hair. And you guys might think that this one is just going to be a slam dunk. Oh, it's an upset, actually. The award goes to Becca for her post St. Baldrick's Foundation head shaving. And if that wasn't enough, she went on ahead and painted her head to resemble a basketball because it was March Madness. Yeah. And Evan didn't turn tail and run after that one, so I kind of thought it was going to stick at that point for sure. So let's see. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. You know what? I'm just going to go on ahead to the final Bluthie Award of the evening. And although you guys have already both won individual awards, this next award is for the Bluthiest couple. I think that the moniker Bluthie represents the two most like people I have ever met in my life. Both Becca and Evan have the quickest wit, are always ready with the perfect quote or pop culture reference. Oh, next page. And they're the two most selfless people I've ever met as well, excuse me. They both just give themselves, whether it's coaching or volunteering. You guys are great. Everybody here loves you too for those reasons and more. And I don't think that there was a moment that anyone here thought, whether it was Becca's friends meeting Evan for the first time or Evan's friends meeting Becca for the first time, that they weren't just perfect together and that they weren't going to be together forever. So congratulations, you guys. I love you guys.
I love you. That's awesome. Are people clinking glasses?
I was hoping to get lucky tonight.
All right. All right, and finally this evening we'd like to welcome up Charlie and Joe Ellerbrook, the men of honor and the brothers of the bride. Charlie and Joe. We're going to start with Charlie and then we're going to go to Joe. So Charlie Ellerbrook, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. So in August of 2003, it would have been. So this would have been about 2 months after my high school graduation. Aaron Epstein and I were moving into our dorm room, getting ready for Cornell men's soccer preseason. And Evan Luthi walks in, and who had already been there a couple weeks in a lonely, empty floor on his dorm room, and it said, "Hey, I've been dying for some people to start showing up. My name's Evan Luthi." More or less said something along the lines of like, "Let's be best friends for life." and then I'm sure he went on and proceeded to say the exact same thing to the entire town of Mount Vernon, Iowa. And so freshman year, well, let's skip through freshman year. That's pre-Becca. Let's just skip all of college. That's also pre-Becca. Fast forward to December of 2011. I see a 4-minute voicemail from Evan. And so I don't listen to the voicemail. I just call him right back. And
Like 10 times.
yeah, and this is after a week or so of missed calls.
Like a month.
Maybe, yeah, several weeks of missed calls. So I call him back and, "Hey, Chuck. Hey, Luth. What's up? What do you think about the Nuggets this year?" Early in the NBA season. And he's like, "Well, I like this kid, Kenneth Fareed, that we drafted, He seems pretty tough from Morehead State, And I was like, "Yeah, he's pretty raw, But plus, our front court's pretty full, and, we already got Gallinari, we still have Al Harrington on contract, and, not to mention, like, JaVale McGee's coming along, like, but, Gallinari, he is kind of injury prone. I'm not sure he's worth the money right now." And Evan says, "You did not listen to the voicemail, did you?" I said, "No. What's up?" And he said, "Charlie, I've been dating Becca for a while, and I'm crazy about her." And I need to talk to you before I fall in love. Well, I'm already in love, but you know. And I think at the time, the first thing that came to mind for me to say was, if God had come to me when I was 18 years old and said, one of your hooligan friends is going to marry your sister, but you get to pick which one. I would have picked Evan. I really would have. I had to check my story on that. That is what I said, right? Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. My sister. So, when I was about 7 and Beck was about 5, I had sharpened a stick into a weapon that should not be handled by a 7-year-old. And I was going to go hunting for something, some small rodent or something like that. And I managed to, and I had painted my face and everything, and with mud and stuff, and I had managed to close in on a squirrel. And Becca came running down the hill in my parents' backyard, screaming, "Run!" to all the little forest creatures. And she saved that little squirrel's life. And she was throwing apples and warning all the little woodland creatures to run. And and they ran, and I'm sure they're all alive today still. But you know, Becca, since before even that, you're my best friend. You've been my conscience for a lot of my life. You know, when I was young, because of moments like that, I found myself asking, what would Becca do? And then that turned into, what would Becca want me to do? And then that turned into, what should I do? But it's in there, Becca. You're my best friend in the world. I'm going to echo my dad and Andy on this one. Everything that can be said about Becca has been shown or said. So, but thank you. Other than that, I am so privileged today to be a man of honor. I didn't know that was a thing until, But, and to also just have such deep connection. Evan, you've been a brother for so long. You're a brother now. And I'm so grateful to have so much connection for people on both sides of this aisle. This is the single biggest gathering of people I love in my entire life. And thank you.
Get back here.
And now here's Joe Ellerbrook to follow his brother.
All right.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, man. Hey, y'all. Charlie, I'm really proud of you. I love you. I just want to say that real quick off the bat. So, I'm Joe, Baby Bodge, man of honor number 2. And, you know, everyone said, if you want to know who Beck and Evan are, just look at how they lead their lives, how they brought all of us together, and, you know, there's not much more you can say on top of that. But I'll try to pick something out specific. When I was in Denver, I lived with in the same city and often crashing on the couch of Evan and Becca and Susan. By the way, Susan, love you. And Leah, yes, thank you, Leah, too. It was very patient. But I learned one really powerful lesson from these two about how to make a life and not just a living, right? How to build something beautiful and fun and worthwhile with other people, how to create traditions with your friends, how to check in on people that are having a hard time and keep track with them, how to make interesting plans for the future. All these little things that go into appreciating, this kind of rare shot we've got, they sort of continue to teach me how to do. And this community of communities that's all come together, it is, like Charlie said, it's incredible. This is the largest gathering of loved ones, I've ever really been a part of. I mean, we got Chile people, right? Yeah, right? We got Gammas, right? We got Cornell people. We got Ellerbrooks, right? We got Luthies, flamencos, co-workers. Yeah, that's the pandering part of my speech. Got it all. Thank y'all. But the way you two have led your life and will continue, obviously, to lead your lives has made it so easy for us to come here and be like this. So I've got a kind of closing well wish. I stole it from a vastly inferior wedding. It's a traditional Irish blessing. I'm not Irish, but it's a classic. Truly a classic. Truly a classic. So may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rain fall soft upon the fields. May the light of friendship guide your paths together. May the laughter of children, big funny offensive linemen of any gender, grace the halls of your home. May the joy of living for one another trip a smile from your lips, a twinkle from your eyes. And when eternity beckons, at the end of a life heap high with love, may the good Lord embrace you with the arms that have nurtured you the whole length of your joy-filled days. And today, may the spirit of love find a dwelling place in your hearts. Love you. Love all my baby brothers up here.
The married version of Rebecca Ellerbrook and Evan Luthi. And now give it up for Bonnie and the Clydes, ladies and gentlemen.
You gotta hold over me. y'all. All right, we're gonna have Becca's dad come front and center, and we're gonna have Evan get his banjo and join us up here.
Oh, yeah.
Stretch it out, Pops. Get it. All right.
Go, Evan. Woo!
Expectations down, please. I love how well we communicate. Our relationship building Tuesdays keep us grounded and make sure we are sharing the good and the bad. And I vow to keep RBTs going no matter how busy life gets. Little wind block. Oh no. So oh yeah, there we go. You know, I have a mantra just for my life and, you know, for the kids I coach and mentor or, you know, anything. And it's always to be better today than you were yesterday. And, you know, I try and share with everyone. I try and, you know, espouse that every day. And so I vow to be better today than yesterday and to push for the same from you. And you already do a great job of motivating me this way and getting me off the couch and into productive activities. So I also vow not to need too much plying to better us instead of binge watching TV.
That's okay too.
It's also okay, but you know, we're bettering ourselves intellectually through Game of Thrones. So in a recent job interview, I was asked what drives me, and I wasn't anticipating this question. And given preparation, I would have come up with something about my competitive nature and need to succeed, driven by my millennial desire for pats on the back. Yeah, I didn't have that time, and I just said what was in my heart. And I said, my family drives me, Becca and Bruce. And it's been that way since before we were dating even. Becca doesn't know this. But, you know, I was kind of aimless when you became my cat's roommate. I thought thought grad school would help get me where I wanted to be, but I couldn't pick a path. You know, I'd always had a passion for giving back to the community and volunteering, but it wasn't until Becca whirlwinded into my life, working with burn survivors and generously/guiltily giving her hard-earned oil money to charity, that I figured out that philanthropic leadership was my path. And so, you know, you inspired me even back then. I know, I put that in the vows that you didn't know it. Well, you know, and maybe it would help me score a date with this brilliant, kind, funny, beautiful girl who moved her dumpster bed in with my cat in his litter box. Rest in peace, fuzzy coin purse. But I vow to continue making our community and world a better place with you. And I vow to just keep on loving you every day for at least the next 68 years or so.
No, that didn't work. Okay, alrighty. Don't worry about the. It's holding my. It's yeah. I'll be reading from the book. Yes. Later. I can't find an excerpt right now. We'll read it tonight. So. Good. So now I'm going to ask both of you to please affirm your wedding vows. Becca, Ben, do you vow? Oh yes, you need to do this. Perfect. Do you vow to uphold the code of living as individuals, as a family, as members of this newly merged village, as crew of Spaceship Earth?
We do.
Do you know that this whole marriage thing really isn't going anywhere?
Nowhere.
No.
We do.
We do. We do.
Good, you're getting this. Do you vow to be better today than you were yesterday and better tomorrow than you are today?
We do.
Do you vow, do you vow to never take yourselves too seriously, to never lose your childlike wonder, playfulness, and sophomoric ridiculous senses of humor?
We do.
Nailed it. And do you vow to pass your lessons of love down to Bruce so that he too can be a loving partner when he wakes up and finds his doggy soulmate, or when you get another dog?
We do.
We do.
Excellent. All right, well now, Becca, Evan, wedding rings are a symbol of your partnership and evidence that you're never alone, that you carry each other with you in everything that you do, and that you actually got up here and you did this thing today, which we're all very proud of you for. So, Evan, the ring.
Whoa, good job.
Evan, please place this ring on Becca's finger and repeat after me. You're mine, baby.
You're mine, baby.
Becca, the ring. That's a Sharpie. All right, yeah, no, sure, that's fine. That's cool. Becca, please draw this ring on Evan's finger and repeat after me. We'll draw it first, and then you can repeat after me. Oh, that's so pretty. Now repeat after me. You're mine, baby.
You're mine, baby.
Paper's flying. I'll get that.
That one anyway.
I didn't need that paper anymore. I just want you both to know that I love you so much. I'm continually awed by your love and everything that you are as humans. You're amazing people. I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to wrap up this part. You've begun the next chapter of your lives here today, speaking these vows in front of your friends, your family, all these amazing people as witnesses. And as such, by the power vested in me by absolutely nobody in particular, it is my great pleasure to pronounce you partners for life. Now kiss each other.
In ecstasy, so don't stop.
That's pretty far.
I didn't know. I've never been. They're good.
Touchdown brings me round again to find another man that think I am.
morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Everyone! I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away.
All right, guys, so we're going to lead a processional over to dinner.
Look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 love. Listen to the music every moment. It's our big family. It's all God. It's right. Love, 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 love,
I love this Pied Piper kind of thing.
At this time, we would like to welcome the mother of the bride up, who will say grace.
Dr. Renee Ellerbrook, everybody. Yeah.
Welcome, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Renee Ellerbrook. I am Becca's mother. Evan's mother, and I just cannot tell you how delighted I am. It's awesome. son-in-law, a lady that helps. So anyway, Becca and Evan asked me to say a quick prayer, and so let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this amazing gathering. Thank you for bringing each person here safely. Thank you for the gorgeous weather. Thank you for the love that Becca and Evan have for each other. And we just ask you to bless their marriage throughout their lives. Just help to guide and support them and grow their love as they grow as individuals and as they grow together as a couple, strengthen their marriage bonds. Thank you for this wonderful wedding feast and for all of the people that worked so hard to prepare this. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please turn your attention up to the front here. At this time, we would like to welcome Dr. Chris Ellerbrook, the father of the bride, up for a toast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome up Dr. Chris Ellerbrook.
I'm father of the bride, Chris Ellerbrook, and so much has been said today that I intend to keep my remarks very, very brief. No, actually, Renee and I and Evan's mother, Susan, and his father, Tony, really want to express our gratitude for all of you coming. This is not an easy place to get to, and so many of you came from so far away. And we're deeply grateful for the love, the respect, the sense of community that shows. And we're very, very proud of you, very grateful. The woman you saw today, our daughter, is the woman we've known for 30 years. And I have nothing more to add because what you saw is who she is. An incredibly passionate, an incredibly compassionate, kind, loving woman. And it goes back forever. You know, one of our dearest friends, couples are here, Bernie and Brenda. They were at our house about 28 years ago, and Becca was about 2, and they were on our couch, and she plopped down between the two of them, and she said, "You be the breads, I be the cheese." And, you know, I mean, she's an incredibly intelligent woman. Her undergraduate degrees are art and geology, which is probably the most demanding of all the earth sciences. But her art, you know, it's a mixture of whimsy. There's a little bit of darkness to it at times. Well, maybe most of the time. I do know that at times she tells the truth. I remember on Father's Day when she was 7, I got a gift for her for Father's Day. It was a beautiful clay diorama. It showed a little TV with rabbit ears on it and a gorgeous little lazy boy with a man sitting in it with a remote control going like that. I guess, yeah, that's probably who I was.